Under crimson skies, common scent as warriors marching off to fight. City walls stood silent, defenses thin and bare. His greatest foe saw weakness hanging in the air. See my away came riding like a storm. Hundreds of banners, swords sharp, hearts transformed. But the gate swung open in the dusty morning light. An old man sweeping slowly, humming through the night. Empty city, empty threat, a smile where fear should dwell. Play the king, pour the wine, let the music cast its spell. Hide your strength in plain disguise, turn the trap into a lie. One man's calm can break an army's pride. The empty city strategy survives. In the tower, Kong sat serene, strings beneath his fingers painting peaceful scenes. Poetry on his lips, wine cup in his hand, acting like a lord with all the time to stand. No soldiers marching, no arrows in the sky, just one man singing as a death passed by. The breeze carried his melody across the plain, while inside the walls his heartbeat stayed the same. Empty city, empty threat, a smile where fear should dwell. Play the king, pour the wine, let the music cast its spell. Hide your strength in plain disguise, turn the trap into a lie. One man's calm can break an army's pride. The empty city strategy survives. Open gate, old battles whisper this is far too great, too calm, too careless, surely death awaits within. He smelled the cunning, felt the hidden sin. Retreat, he ordered out, heavy in his chest, pulled his mighty army back into the west. While he waited, wondered and searched for the deceit, Konging soldiers marched home on tired feet. The city stood defended, once again a legend born with no blood stain the plain. A deliberate weakness shown for all to see, conceal the truth and set the spirit free. For sometimes power hides in what you dare not show, a mystery that makes the strongest hesitate and go. Empty city, empty gate, wisdom sings where swords would gray. Hide your strength, confuse the foe. The empty city lets you win the war you never fought.
The empty fort strategy. In situations where the enemy outnumbers you and you feel you might be overrun at any time, it's advisable to drop any facade of military readiness and maintain your composure, so the enemy believes you are setting a trap. This tactic should be used judiciously, and only after you have established a reputation for military skill. It also depends on having a perceptive opponent who, upon recognizing a potential trap, may overthink their actions. The empty fort strategy is truly one of the most intriguing psychological tactics because it turns our usual approach to threats on its head. Rather than fortifying defenses when feeling exposed, you keep the front door wide open. This unexpected move can confuse your opponent, leading them to overanalyze the situation and believe that a seemingly vulnerable stance is actually a clever ruse, prompting them to retreat. Let's explore how this very dynamic has recently unfolded in both corporate boardrooms and high-stakes political military conflicts. In the business realm, the empty fort strategy occurs when a company intentionally reveals its internal secrets or intellectual property, encouraging competitors to take a peek. This approach is quite risky, as sharing your hardened technology could enable rivals to replicate your innovations and snatch your market share in no time. A well-known instance of this is Tesla's approach to its electric vehicle patents. In a daring decision, they declared their intention to open-source all of their patents, effectively unlocking access to their entire technology framework. Competitors were initially perplexed and hesitant, questioning whether it was a trap or a licensing strategy. Nevertheless, Tesla's decision ultimately established their technology as the global industry benchmark, compelling rivals to build upon Tesla's groundwork and ensuring Tesla's long-term supremacy. In today's political and military conflicts, strategy often involves a leader intentionally presenting themselves as vulnerable or powerless to instill overconfidence in their rivals. The risks are significant. Showing weakness can lead to an immediate coup or a complete loss of authority if the deception fails. Take a look at the complex internal political and military dynamics in China as we approach early 2026. After some changes late in the previous year, President Xi Jinping seemed to significantly reduce his influence over the Central Military Commission, adopting a more subdued approach of collective leadership. This perceived withdrawal led internal rivals and military veterans to think he was yielding and defenseless, creating a classic empty fort scenario. In January 2026, he surprised his adversaries with a rapid political maneuver against key military leaders, fully reclaiming his power. To create a cutting-edge AI algorithm aimed at combating disinformation, deepfakes, and safeguarding children, we don't focus on constructing a defensive firewall. Rather, we develop an algorithm that utilizes strategic deflection, honeypot amplification, and psychological deterrence. Let me explain how the algorithm functions conceptually, divided into three main microservices. The first one is the Open Gate Honeypot microservice. Unlike traditional moderation that quickly flags and blocks deepfakes or disinformation, which only informs bad actors on how to adjust their models, our algorithm takes a different approach. It deliberately establishes an unprotected, highly visible setting. When it identifies a coordinated disinformation effort or a harmful deepfake aimed at children, the algorithm purposefully reduces its visible defenses. It then directs the malicious traffic into a sandboxed, synthetic replica of the social platform. To the attacker, it appears as though their campaign is gaining traction and succeeding effortlessly. The second component is the Ghost Army Inversion Engine. Within this controlled mirror environment, advanced large language models and generative agents interact with harmful content. When a deepfake or disinformation bot attempts to propagate a narrative, thousands of AI agents respond, but they do not engage in arguments. Instead, they employ reverse psychology prompts. They excessively agree with the disinformation to ridiculous extents or pose extremely specific, highly technical inquiries regarding the source of the media. This activates the attacker's own anomaly detection. Since the environment appears too flawless and the interactions are unnaturally precise, the attacker believes they have been detected or that law enforcement is tracking their data to identify their IP and infrastructure. In a state of panic, they remove the content themselves. The third service is the Mirror Trap Attribution Service. As the attackers either revel in their supposed victory or fret over the trap, the algorithm employs sophisticated watermarking tracers and reverse adversarial neural networks to scrutinize the metadata, generation artifacts, and network routing of the deepfake. It meticulously charts the precise digital signature of the threat actor. Since we didn't cut them off, they remained connected long enough for the AI to fully outline their infrastructure. This algorithm serves as a protective barrier for children, safeguarding them from online predators and groomers. Rather than immediately blocking a suspicious account, which only prompts the predator to create a new profile, the algorithm utilizes an autonomous AI conversational agent, known as a digital twin or honeypot avatar, to interact with the predator. The predator believes they are conversing with a vulnerable child, but in reality, they are engaging with a sophisticated containment AI that is designed to gather forensic evidence, real-world location information, and behavioral patterns. This data is then swiftly compiled and sent directly to cyberforensics and law enforcement agencies, all while ensuring that the human child remains completely safe and undetected. Here's how our conceptual algorithm would tackle the threat. Initially, your Open Gate Honeypot microservice would promptly identify any coordinated efforts or suspicious accounts attempting to upload harmful deepfakes or interact with young users. Rather than implementing a typical block or account ban, which would merely alert the predators and lead them to create new profiles or modify their deepfake generation techniques, your algorithm subtly reduces its visible defenses. It discreetly redirects the malicious traffic away from genuine users and into a sandboxed synthetic version of the platform. To the predators, it appears as though their campaign is thriving effortlessly, with their metrics and engagement figures seemingly skyrocketing, but in truth, they are entirely confined within a digital bubble where no real child can access them. Next, the Ghost Army Inversion Engine takes charge in this controlled mirror setting. Advanced large language models and generative agents begin to engage with the profiles of the attacker. Rather than arguing or lecturing, they utilize clever reverse psychology. They may overly agree with the narrative to an absurd degree, or inundate the attacker with extremely specific, highly technical inquiries regarding the origins of their media. Due to the unnaturally flawless and precise nature of the environment and interactions, it activates the predator's own anomaly detection. The attacker suddenly feels a surge of panic, convinced they have fallen into a trap, that law enforcement is monitoring their data, or that their infrastructure has been breached. In a complete state of panic, they rush to erase the content themselves. As the attackers become distracted or anxious within the sandbox, your third component, the Mirror Trap Attribution Service, begins its crucial work. Since the algorithm didn't immediately sever their connection, the predators remained online long enough for the system to deploy advanced watermarking tracers and reverse adversarial neural networks. This service carefully examines the deepfake metadata, generation artifacts, and network routing to accurately map the digital signature and network setup of the wrongdoers. A detailed forensic package, which includes real-world locations and behavioral profiles, is then swiftly compiled and sent directly to law enforcement agencies, ensuring that the predators face justice while real-world children stay completely safe and anonymous. Conceal your true power to create an aura of mystery around yourself, which will intrigue your opponent as they will be eager to discover what they are truly facing. When you find yourself in a vulnerable situation, project strength through confident behavior, and when you are in a position of power, show concern and protectiveness.